But it could happen.
Colin told you the financial situation. We could stop, but we couldn't start again.
Compared with your academic success, I think that hardly matters.
I heard the algorithm came down pretty hard on you. I care about that. Hello, I'm Andy Luke. I'm a cartoonist, novelist, novellist, poet. I'm a writer who draws. And welcome to Writer Watches Press Gang 109, both sides of the paper. Exams and education versus the Junior Gazette.
Spike, Parliamentary format.
Can you hum one of their singles?
It's a good school-rooted drama episode as the headmaster stirs the breakup of the Junior Gazette. Volunteers walk out and friends turn on one another. It opens with director Bob Spear ramping up fear of dread and horror, using zoom-ins and stretched images, reverberation and shadow. A montage of teachers' rigid instructions for exams wakes Sarah Jackson up at 3 a.m. To be fair, she's probably been up at 3 a.m. before as a junior paper's lead reporter. The title, Both Sides of the Paper, refers to the newsroom versus the school. It also has a double meaning in the phrase burning the candle at both ends. And Sarah's dilemma is easily relatable. Tony Nolan, the phone ranger, is a Radio Sherrington sock jock whose show appears to be broadcast via telephones. Aside from his role in the final scenes, the character is still something of an unmemorable gimmick. So just 1 point for him, though in light of how social media has gone with YouTube and podcasts on phones, it's not unlikely. The A-plot is the real meat. How can the Junior Gazette continue around the impenetrable obstacle of the exams? David Collings brings the gravity of it with a somber delivery. The threat to the paper is very real and final and built from Moffat's insight as a teacher. It doesn't stop him having fun through column.
Mr. Winters has a problem. He doesn't see how we can work for our exams and run the Gazette.
You going to cancel the exams?
I've asked Lynda to close down your paper for a month.
The Colin Matthews exam kit is not unlike the trouble that landed him in mandatory service to the paper to begin with. Remarkably, the exam kit, as answer to the paper's conundrum, is teased there 6 minutes in, except because Colin is a joke character who no one should listen to, Moffat sneaks it in under the radar. Lynda is grossly insensitive to Sarah's worries, maybe even oblivious. Their chat about an article and that boss's lack of concern about the exams, which her whole school life has led up to, shows Lynda is a very high achiever. And because of that, she thinks the same way of Sarah, blissfully not accounting for the girl being a perpetual bag of nerves. Kenny performs his Jiminy Cricket role as Lynda's conscience, but it's already too late. We get a sumptuous Easter egg with the seemingly full roster of Junior Gazette employees. That's the ones who haven't left. A showdown with Mr. Winters explores the seriousness of Sarah's decision, the paper's cancellation. The scene gives Winters adequate motivation to cease the writings of those meddlesome kids. Of course, the junior paper has brought the school a good reputation through the trainee programme, solving an arson attack in the planning, and a drug epidemic, so it would be in his best interests to help out. Nonetheless, David Collings absolutely sells it. Who remembers a headmaster being fair? Sorry, Norman. Colin tries to sell Sarah an exam kit, and this could be hokey, but on rewatch, it's actually gold. Sarah's furious reaction allows Moffat a mouthpiece to rally against private sector education and shysters hawking illegal or false promises of exam success. Something like that. I'm just going to play the clip.
And do you know the sort of people who are going to go for that, Colin? The ones who are terrified out of their wits of what their parents will say if they fail. The ones who are desperate to pass but don't think they've got the brains to do it on their own. And the ones like me who need all the reassurance you can sell them.
Letters go out to the parents and the stakes ramp up. It's the Junior Gazette versus Norbridge High, literally their support structure. Lynda appears in one of Sarah's nightmares to guilt trip her. Very Lynda. The B plot of the Phone Ranger distracted from my memory that this is actually top tier Series 1. The stakes are high, high as they've ever been. Lynda is in a fight that she cannot possibly win. The Phone Ranger is increasingly annoying as narrator, albeit intended, and the annoyance is just about to reach tipping point when he turns human and offers Lynda a career in the media. It won't be the last offer she'll get and indicates her high employment prospects. I'll allow it. The job offer plants a seed with Lynda. She surely realizes she's the only person on the paper being made this offer, or any offer of any type. Meanwhile, the newsroom is noticeably emptier. The graphics team has quit, and Kenny follows suit. And then in her darkest hour, Spike bounces in. Lynda confides in him she'll go ahead with the paper whatever happens, and there's a sense she's become something of a KD herself. Colin and Julie in the hall, a nice little setup for Series 5 that should appeal to all the shippers and the shillers. It's lovely to see Spike and Lynda's relationship go from conflict to a degree of consensus as they prepare to knock on the headmaster's door. Lynda is about to tell Winters to shove it, but she's been outmaneuvered by a player. It would have been easy to write Kerr as a man of regrets at having allowed this scenario to occur. Moffat is more ambitious in presenting him as unflinching. Juicy stuff for Clive Wood, who, through Kerr, lays out to Lynda that she is not his golden child she thinks she is. And Colin's sales patter gives Lynda her light bulb moment to survive the storm and restaff the newsroom. It wins her approval from Winters and Kerr, and a shared moment with Spike for his loyalty. Although the resolution is obvious, in fact it's been thrown in front of our nose the whole time, there's plenty to distract us from it along the way. Retooling the paper as one big group study session comes in a moment that's powerful and brief. The end credits give us Colin flogging the post-exam recovery kit with the USP appealing to Sarah. Buying one makes him go away. Both Sides is a great example of Moffat's ability to have characters surmount obstacles by strategizing around a problem. It's also worth noting how gorgeous Bob Spear's direction is. Full 360-degree views picking up the framing of small interactions in the backgrounds. And these motions of photography are short themselves, working as teasers to pay off longer shots later when the stakes are higher. Overhead shots to trail an emphasis on bigger problems. There's a real continuity of camera work, which opens up space to show storyline upon storyline at their varied points. So Julie, I heard YouTube came down pretty hard on you. I care about that. This is why I'm offering you a unique opportunity to design a special featured graphic for David Collings while working for your exams. Honestly, this video has been certified by education boards nationwide. At least that's what I told YouTube when they threatened me with a global copyright ban. For only £1 a month plus 40p processing fees, you can subscribe to my Patreon and... Oh, Julie, don't be like that. Still, I have Sex Pillow. What do you think, Sex Pillow? Could you design me a graphic? I guess not. Special feature, David Collings. Collings was born in Brighton, Sussex in 1940. His father was an artist, so on leaving school, David entered design and lettering. He dabbled in amateur dramatics. The series of recommendations led to his casting in a live televised rendition of Crime and Punishment in 1964. 5 years later, he returned to Dostoevsky in a multi-part series for the BBC. In the meantime, he'd pop up in the Wednesday play, Softly, Softly, Jerry Anderson's UFO, on Z-Cars, and as Bob Cratchit in the 1970 musical version of Scrooge alongside an all-star cast. Collings is one of those actors who has theatrical soul. You could hear it in his cadence, see it in his posture. In the 70s, he'd be front and centre in 30-Minute Theatre, The Play for Today, The 39 Steps, or very English dramas like Midnight as a Place. Appearing to acclaim as kindly tutor Julian Oakapple across all 12 episodes, Collings also sang the haunting theme tune.
Midnight is a place.
However, he was just as comfortable in pop culture TV, be it The Professionals, General Hospital, or Blake 7, appearing in the finale as Diva. And for Brit kids of a certain age, he was unmissable in the hit show Monkey. Collings provided the voice dub of the title character in all 52 episodes. He was known to me as a humanoid element Silver in ITV's Sapphire and Steel, including an appearance in one of the most chilling final episodes on TV. I must have been aware of him at the same time in Look and Read, an educational production by the BBC. Look and Read featured stories, and one that was popularly received in schools was Dark Towers. In the 10-part series concerned with hidden treasure in a spooky house, Collings played the lead roles of Lord Dark and the friendly ghost. In 1975, he appeared as rebel leader Vorus in Revenge of the Cybermen. He'd return as a different character in The Robots of Death, also alongside Tom Baker, and opposite Peter Davison in Modern Undead. He'd also take part in the 1981 BBC radio adaptation of Lord of the Rings, portraying Legolas. That decade, Collings was an incredibly prolific TV face. Juliet Bravo, Miss Marple, Dramarama, The Bill, Boone, and The Darling Buds of May. He was an in-demand actor. I find it hard to believe he only appeared in 5 episodes of Press Gang, and that after Series 1 he disappears until Series 5. It feels so much more. The Series 5 opener, Head and Heart, puts his character at the centre and is particularly weighty. Other than that episode and this one, Headmaster Winters is a fleeting background character who feels so much a part of the show's DNA. In the 90s, he drew away from film and television, cashing in his rich CV to work in lead roles for the Royal Shakespeare Company. His favourite job was playing opposite his son in Edward II, according to the obituary Michael Coveney wrote for The Guardian. Coveney said of this period of his life, "He could not devise a more varied roster of roles, but he discharged them all with a bitter charm and a watchful, wary eye." Collings' original appearances on Doctor Who were notably rare. To have an actor return for 3 different roles within such a close time frame. This association led to Big Finish bringing him aboard for a number of other dramas, starting with playing an alternate Doctor in 2003's Unbound series, in Jago and Lightfoot and The King of Sontar. He'd reprise the role of Silver for their Sapphire and Steel series. He'd also do readings of a number of Doctor Who novels, The Corpse Marker, The Witch Hunters, Scream of the Ljerka, Modern Undead, and in his last role, The Robots. What a great affair. And that's all for now. I'd like to say thanks to my big backers, Artemie K at Farset Labs, Arsalan Haider Ali at The Lightbinder on Instagram, John Robbins, author of Death to Everyone, and a few other names who are appearing on screen right now. I couldn't really try to make a living without their support, so I'm so grateful to them. By the time you see this, my new book will be out. I'm really excited about it. It's called Coastlines After Dark, and it's in the Garth Marenghi's Dark Place territory. It's directly inspired by Baywatch Nights. It's got a foreword by Allison Internet Queen Pregler and a cover by Sean Duffield. You'll see his thumbnails on screen now because he's still working on the cover as I speak. There'll be an Amazon link in the description. Rush out and buy it. Writing is the most fun I've had I wrote my first book in 2016, and yeah, I haven't had so much fun as this one. Thank you for joining me for this deep dive. I'll be along another week to look at episode 10, which I believe is Money, Love and Birdseed. And check out the other stuff on my channel. The Ahsoka videos and the Doctor Who videos are really funny. There's some really cute Gerbil stuff. And there's also the 200-second analysis of each episode of Always Sunny, which goes live on a Sunday. And thanks for joining me. Hang in there.